Absolutely. So interesting time in the short-term rental space at the moment. We're still seeing new stock coming to market. Owner attrition rates, however, are one of the challenges for us. So I think if you speak to a lot of people, certainly bigger short-term rental players in the market at the moment, their owner attrition rates, so inventory coming off book, so to speak, would probably been around the 12-15% mark in the last couple of years. We're seeing that jump, really towards 18-20%, some a little bit higher. A lot of pressure on margin. So we all know interest rates are higher, utility costs higher, a bit of downward pressure on rates at the moment in terms of less money in travellers' pockets, which is squeezing rates. So we're seeing a lot of squeeze on margin, which is then making it tougher to hold on to stock ultimately. But it's certainly an interesting time for the property industry in general, really. Short-term rentals, buy-to-lets, we're seeing a lot around. Are we going to get rent caps? So I think it's going to be a lot of inventory shift from buy-to-let into short-let, perhaps back to buy-to-let again. So yeah, certainly interesting time from that point of view. I'm still pretty positive, Paul, really. I think we're going to see lots more consolidation continue. I think we're going to see that from an operation and management perspective. If we look again, UK short-term rental sector, we've got really kind of the big three players in the UK now. Lots of players, the sort of 50 units, 100, and then you've got a really big void. There's not many operators at the 400, 500, 600 level, minimal really. So it's going to be interesting to see how the bigger players continue to consolidate, or do we see more smaller players come together to consolidate. I think if we look from a technology piece, we all know there's 1,000 different PMS systems out there. We've got to see consolidation in that market, but I think we're just in that evolutionary stage of seeing the market professionalise. We're seeing it develop. We all know regulation is on the horizon, which again I think will, if we see regulation coming in a strict form, again that will put more pressure on consolidation because the bigger players will take out the ones who don't see it as a professional market really. So lots of change going on, but I do see a lot of it as positive. I think much more professional than we see it now. I think that is one of the things, regulation can and often is positive. On that regulation piece, I think in 5 years' time we're going to be seeing some type of licensing scheme, which I think is a positive thing. If we look at it from a health and safety perspective, I heard one of the talks earlier, someone talking about, on Airbnb, you don't need to upload a gas safety certificate. Well, it's a pretty basic requirement from a health and safety point of view if the property's got gas. So we do need some of these things to come into the market. So if a family is renting a property, there's got to be basic requirements from a health and safety point of view that we see come into the industry. So I think some of those will be positive. I think obviously we're going to see massive advances in technology. AI is obviously the buzzword. Again, that is going to be in 5 years' time. It could be running 50% of the industry from an AI and software point of view. Who knows? So yeah, I think it'll be a long way from where we are today. But I think much more professional, probably a more efficient industry. Perhaps a little bit less reliant on people, because that's one of the biggest challenges in the industry. Have we got enough housekeepers? Have we got enough maintenance guys? Guest service is very people heavy, so I think we will see that change over the coming years as well. Yeah, so third Urban Living Festival, probably my favourite so far. I think the breakout sessions this afternoon are going really well, some really good conversations from that point of view. The way everything's segregated this year is great, so you can get involved in the discussions that are going on, but still speak to vendors and have some kind of networking discussions as well at the same time, which has been great. So yeah, my favourite one so far.